Hello everyone, Maurice and welcome to Things to Invest. Talk about investing, finance, professional development. For today's video, airtimes only. The investment on top of today will be Cardano, ticker ADA. So it's been a while since I last covered Cardano specifically, and I've been getting some questions from my viewers here and my friends here on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys for reaching out and asking for specific questions. I love doing research, I love doing homework, and I actually enjoy finding the truth with respect to the key value proposition of the investment opportunity that we're looking at, right? And with respect to Cardano, I've been doing a little bit of a homework, do a little bit of research, and look into the technical analysis a little bit more to identify the key specific areas that you guys should be dollar cost averaging or risk mitigating, if you may, right? And just to recap on a high level synopsis of what's going on recently, right? With respect to Cardano, as of today, I'm recording of 2:37 p.m. on an Eastern time, current trade like the $1.25, up about 1.74%. In respect to the media affectation that we're cultivating with this surge, I would say it's a moderate surge. It's mainly coming from something called the anti-correlation effects coming from the equity side of the house, right? We see a lot of red pressure across a lot of Chinese stocks. And I think that's a majority of the stocks because a lot of affiliations that we have with China, obviously with the exports and import dynamics that we have between US and China, and subsequently drive a lot of sell-off across the board, right? With respect to Tesla, down about 2%, and NIO's down close to 10.10% today. And with respect to SPY, down about 0.78%. NASDAQ's even more worse, 1.58% downward trend right now. Right, so with respect to Cardano, what's going on right now is really kind of a dead in the water, kind of neutral, but the buying pressure is really something called a safe haven effect, right? People are fleeing into crypto assets, which is a form of security, for a form of a safe havens, kind of comparable to like buying gold, if you may, right? And that's applied to all other crypto assets with respect to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin even. Right, but obviously with the altcoin, it's a little bit more drastic in terms of that affectation, right? So I'm gonna go to a technical analysis to look at Cardano specifically, knowing the fact that a lot of people have been asking for it. So I'm gonna give you the level to risk mitigate going forward. What do we look at? How do we dollar cost average? And what I see in the near term for Cardano trending going forward? So stay tuned, stick around, let's make some money. Alright, so moving on to the technical analysis for Cardano, ticker ADA. As I'm recording this of 2:41 p.m. on the Eastern time, current trading like the $1.24, up about 1.51% so far. And you can see that with respect to the sell-off that we've had so far ever since on June 4th. We've been selling off all the way to hit the $1 level, which is frankly more of a psychological resistance level. $1 or $1.50. Those are typically just flat numbers investors typically want to buy, and that's the level that we've formed in a technical perspective. But also on top of the fact that at that level, we were pretty much oversold at that level, and that's why we kind of reversed from there with that mega red candle here. And this is definitely driven by a whale that manipulated the market, which makes sense, right? Because Cardano is one of those altcoins that is highly manipulative, and with respect to the volatility that we're seeing is a lot more severe in comparison to obviously the stable coin of the spectrum like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which has that characterization, right? You can see that ever since then, after the whale sell-off, we had some, obviously buying pressure from a lot of the small investors, and I think this is like collections of both a little bit of institutional investors, but also majorly public investors like you and I, right? And ever since then, we sold off even more and retest that $1.05 level again, right? And I would say these are mainly driven by the frames of the FOMC meeting and the CPI report that we've been getting so far, which has a lot of correlations to the market dynamics, right? But also with respect to media affectation as well, right? And ever since then, we had that reversal, comparable to not just Cardano, but also for Ethereum and Bitcoin, which we've seen the reversal that's been happening ever since that B word summit, right? And this is exactly what's applying right now, even though Elon Musk, Cathie Wood, or Jack Dorsey didn't say anything about Cardano specifically, but just because of that correlation effect has, from the main coins, right, like Bitcoin, Ethereum is subsequently dragged up from there, right? And ever since that, we sell off from back down because whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? At that level, we were pretty much overbought, right? And it seems like we're kind of hovering on a sideways fashion right now at the $1.25, right? So let's take a look at the resistance level that we should be ideally dollar cost averaging or risk mitigating going forward. If you truly believe in the long-term value proposition of Cardano, I personally am not an investor in Cardano at the moment, right? I used to be, but I sold off ever since we hit all the way to the $1.80. I think I actually sold it way higher than that actually, but I forgot. It's a long time ago. My main position right now is mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't hold any Dogecoin. I don't hold any Cardano at the moment, right? But people have been asking for the technical analysis. I want to give them and give them that understanding with the risk mitigation methodology going forward, right? So right now, I think the level that we're at right now, it's a relatively non-substantive one. We're basically hovering away. We don't really have any consolidation in the past around the current level right now. And I think the next level that we ideally want to go to, knowing the fact that we are more leaning towards a moderate level of overbought at the moment, that it makes more sense to kind of cool down a little bit. I think I ideally want to go down to like $1 and 19 cents or 20 cents from now, so basically like 4 cents away. And I think if we break that $1.19 level, the next leap down will be relatively drastic to the $1.14 level, right? But that's a really worrisome because that's a strong resistance level, and if we break that, we leap all the way back down to the $1.05, which makes sense, right? We have tested that historically in the past, right? That once, right, on 20th on July, and also another crash that we actually broke through to hit that $1 and basically $1, right? And that's a level of resistance that we are forming psychologically. Again, that's not really a substantive level, right? So Cardano is definitely one of those very volatile type of asset class that you want to be very careful. And I will actually wait off a little bit before the next pump up if you truly believe in the long-term value proposition of Cardano going forward. All right, just to recap all the numbers in the technical analysis, again, right, the current level of 124 is not really a substantive level based on the technical analysis. I think we do have a propensity to leap down to 119. And if we break 119, the next level is 114, and the next level will be all the way down to 105 or $1 based on the historical crash that we've had, or the correction, if you may, right? Cardano is one of those like very volatile type of assets, so you definitely want to be mindful, and you truly have to have strong convictions around the long-term value proposition. But I think it's a good hedge if you believe in Ethereum, right? Because those are like kind of a pseudo comparables. So definitely want to be mindful of that. I'm not a subject matter in Cardano specifically. I typically cover specifically for Ethereum, so you want to be, don't listen to me completely, right? But just understand that these are the frames that you want to risk mitigate based on just purely the charts that we see in front of us, right? Without any bias, and I don't have anything that I'm against or pro or I want to be supporting Cardano. I'm just speaking based on what I see in front of the chart. So hopefully this is helpful. All right, so that's it for today. Respect my technical analysis on Cardano ticker ADA. Hopefully this is helpful in giving you that structure, the understanding of how to risk mitigate going forward for Cardano specifically. Again, I'm not subject matter in this specific asset because I want to be focusing on specifically what I know best, right? But I've been asking, getting this questions quite often from my viewers and my friends here, and want to be helpful by giving you guys that frame of reference, that structure to dollar cost average and risk mitigate going forward. So hopefully, take what I'm saying today with a grain of salt because I don't want to be misinformed, but I'm speaking based on what I see in front of the charts. And that's important, if you want to formalize your price execution going forward. But ultimately, it's going to depend on the long-term value proposition, right? Appreciate you guys for dropping by and listening in, and stay tuned for the next coming up. Take care.